Go?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yes, well, thank you for joining me. This is the BTS Creative Academy podcast. We're here at the Romford Film Festival. So tell me, guys, what brings you here today?
Well, we've got a film screening. So we've made the film called The Interpreter. Mm-hmm. And today was the first screening, and that's why we came.
Right, okay. So tell me about this film. What's this film about?
Right, so this film, The Interpreter, is based on a true story about my experience as an interpreter back in the day.
Okay.
And I was a young interpreter with no training, having to tell people really, really difficult news and really, really struggling with that, having to break such traumatic, devastating news to people and building that bridge between doctors and NHS and the patients who don't speak English fluently.
So you wrote this story?
Yes, I wrote, produced, and I'm also the lead actress in the film.
Wow. And so guys, what's your roles within this movie?
I'm the director of the movie and he's the actor.
And sorry, your names are?
I'm Andrea M. Catinella.
I'm Oscar S. Reed, the actor playing Ahmet, the distraught husband, in one of the scenes where the bad news been given by the interpreter that the wife's going to pass away, and she's got an incurable illness. And I break down sort of thing and I'll try to get some soundboarding from that and show a lot of emotions. That my wife's going to die, obviously, but at the same time, I'm sort of like in limbo, sort of thing, because obviously most of the ailments and most of the messages from the docs have been conveyed to me by the interpreter.
Okay.
And as you know, when it's interpreted, it loses some of the meaning and sound and so on. And obviously, I'm not getting the full picture, or maybe I'm getting it. I'm also distraught. So I've got to do that emotional bit there where I'm sort of hopeless and my wife's dying. And at the same time, I'm confused as well at the same time. And I sort of break down, push a few furniture around sort of thing. And generally, show a lot of emotion in the film. But interpreting is a very, very, it's a very hard profession to get into. And you will see in the film, well, we saw in the film that the interpreters get a lot of flack from the service providers, from doctors. And as you know, some of these learned people, they don't like somebody telling them what to do or giving them advice and so on. It's got to be on their rules.
Yes,
You understand
of course,
what I
yeah.
mean? So, but our interpreter here, our lead actress, she portrays that role perfectly.
Oh, bless you, thank you.
So Yasmin, this film starts with you, and you just kind of touched on there. It's like from real experience. So why this movie? Why put this real experience into a film?
I really want to put this message across that NHS is struggling. There is not enough resources to support the interpreters because they don't get enough training. There's not enough support for patients, and there's also not enough support for doctors who are overworked, who don't have time to give to each of these patients. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, but I just want to say that the whole of the NHS is struggling. And we already know that from the news. We already know that we need more money for the NHS. People have been protesting about this for years, but nobody has actually ever thought of or even made a film about interpreters and how the lack of funding and resources affects foreigners in this country.
Yeah. Well, why do you feel that's important that we get that message out there?
I think as a producer and writer, I like to tell stories which are untold. And as someone who's mixed race and an immigrant in this country, I feel very passionate about, I don't want to say educating people, but at least telling people that these kind of stories exist as well. So, that's the passion in me, that's the fire in me.
The fire in you to go
Yeah.
and make some kind of change, make some kind of difference from these experiences that you've had.
Yeah.
You don't just let them go, you've done something with them, and you're channeling that to try and make some kind of change.
Yeah.
In the way that it is, through storytelling.
Yeah.
And so as a director, you've come into this story. What drew you into this at the beginning?
Well, when she had these incredible stories, and we were having dinner, and she always wanted to do, like, we were looking for a new film to make, and she has these incredible stories, so we thought that was a great idea. So when she sent me the script, and when I started reading the script, there was her personal stories. It quite shocked me, because I cannot, like, I'm not Turkish, I'm Italian, so it's like, as I said, it's their culture. And also, I never lived personally the experience of an interpreter, but the two conditions experienced by the interpreter and by Yasmin, in the story, I lived as well, but in a different way. And so when I read the script on the first patient, who was portrayed by Eda Katalkam, I related to my mom, who was a schizophrenic. So I saw that scene. And in the second one, I could relate it when my auntie dies, and my uncle reacted like him. So when I read the script, he hit me a lot. It's such an amazing story that
There was something
Yasmin
personal
wrote.
in there for you.
So, and even when I direct, I always try to put something personal that you cannot, like, really see, but it's there. So it was a story, and one thing that shocked me, and I said to Yasmin,
I know.
is like, when she wrote all the characters, I received the script with the full character and the story. And when I read Camellia, I went looking for the name, which was the Turkish version of Carmela, which was the name of my mom in Italy. So,
Wow.
And I didn't know that.
No,
and she didn't know that. She didn't know that. So I told her, I want to do this. And one thing that I thank her of is that, like, I felt, even not being a Turkish and touch such a delicate subject for them, was quite a challenge.
What was your mum's
for
name?
me. Carmela.
Carmela.
Yes.
And so when you saw that in the script and the story, what was that feeling?
It hit me a lot, because when we had the conversation last year. So when she wrote the script, when we had that dinner, my mom was in coma. And then while we were in the process of because when I read the script, I was like, this is such a beautiful story, we have to do it. So we went contacting executive, like, we started moving things out. Then my mom passed away 1 month after, and this motivated me even a lot more. And one thing that I can say, for example, when I started doing workshop with Eda, the actress, and I had to bring, to transmit her some of the emotion, I had to take from my past experience and put that experience into Yasmin's experience. And when we filmed that scene of, I don't want to spoiler the film, of the patients on the ground with all the nurses, is something that I lived in my own skin, because my mom had something that in Italy we call TSO, is when you are hospitalized by the government because you're not able to take care of yourself at home, and none of us can, but you need, like, proper medical institution. And that's also one thing that, like, she faced as an interpreter, and I face as how can I say, as someone who had my mom in a medical institution. There was lack of nurses. There was there was a lack. So I was like, I want to be part of this message. I wanted to really be part of this message, and that for me was the most emotional scene, because I wanted Eda to portray something that my mom has lived exactly, and it came out this way.
Yes, yeah. That's
And I
it.
just want to say, I cried on set, and I had to stop for 5 minutes.
That's
we,
it.
we were all shocked.
Well, I think that's okay. I think when we're working on something like this and there's a personal connection to it, It's completely fine to have a moment where you have to connect to your emotions, and then you can bring the best out in your art, can't you? And
Exactly.
in everyone else.
And that's one of the things, because I know how Yasmin is passionate about her country, her culture, and this story, and the passion. She was able to transmit me that passion from the story, but I also wanted to detach myself.
Okay.
In order to direct the story and being like, this is your story, this is your ethnicity, your roots, these are like the issues that you are facing that I don't know anything about it. So I want to give like a perspective, a different perspective, by touching a delicate subject and like flying down in delicate way.
How would your mum have felt about you directing this film?
I think she would have watched it. She would have watched it. And one thing is that the actress, Ada, she looks like my mom. She looks like my mom. One thing that I can tell you, I think she would have loved. There are like a few things when we had a few articles coming out. I was like more concerned because about my aunties who were my mom's sister, and of them reading the article and taking out these stories. And and in one of the articles there was written that this was a dedication to my mom, and I was quite concerned of their reaction.
Why? Because too personal?
Because it was too personal, and because it was like, because since I was young, I was scared to say that my mom was schizophrenic. I was scared about the judgment of my friends. I received some jokes, because like schizophrenia is something that we still see as we have a huge stigma. And that was my motivation on the interpreter, on taking on the direction of the interpreter. I was quite scared about my aunties. I didn't know it was like a... but then they started reading the article and they wanted to watch the film. I haven't showed yet.
Okay.
I haven't showed yet. I will ask a favor. But I want to watch with them. Yeah.
So that you can talk through any questions that may arise, I guess.
Maybe.
Yeah. So I feel like he's going to add
No, I
something.
just want to say that this film, it's a film like, well, to my acting and to my sort of how I feel about the film. Well, I speak the language, well, sort of. I said the language, the Turkish language. I do speak the language. I brought up here, but what I wanted to convey was that I wanted to do that sort of emotion that who was watching that doesn't have to be fluent in Turkish language, although I was talking to Turkish, by looking at my emotions, what I'm doing and so on, they'll get the gist of the idea, what's happening and so on, without listening to dialogue. You know what I mean? And I wanted to sort of like get that into perspective with my emotions, my face features maybe, my actions and so on. So without sort of like following the dialogue without the subtitles, they can say, oh yeah, I know what's happening there.
Do you think there's something that can be taken into real life with that? As an interpreter, were you generally kind of detached from people that were going through these emotional things, or could you offer any emotion to help break that wall?
I've had a lot of chats with psychiatrists, therapists, and doctors, and what they have is maybe 3, 5, 8 years of training, aftercare, support groups. The education that they get allows them to not empathize too much. Whereas with me, I saw an ad, I applied online, I got the call within 1 hour. They were like, do you speak Turkish? I'm like, yeah, I'm Turkish. Good, you got the job.
And that's it.
And then all of a sudden,
You're
I'm
thrown
in a
into that world.
psychiatric ward with someone who's like got a knife in their hand and trying to cut themselves and stab themselves. And I'm in that room and I don't know what to do. I felt like I was in a cage. I felt like I couldn't get out. I was having panic attacks. I didn't know what to do. And sometimes, very rarely, a psychiatrist would, upon exiting the room, be like, you okay? You want to talk about it? And I'd be like, oh, no, it's fine. Okay, all right then. And they'd just leave because they would have to get to the next patient.
Yes. And I guess they were like that just through being a good human, not through the system being in place to protect
exactly.
you.
So, and then, you know, even in the film, without, you know, spoiler alert, you know, her, Belma, the interpreter, gets a phone call for her next appointment, and she goes, you know, she wants to say something, but the phone is hung up, because even the person on the phone needs to call the next interpreter about the next appointment. She's not even asking how the interpreter is doing. The interpreter gets no care.
No.
Nobody gets any care. And that's the whole message about the film.
Yes, yeah. And it sounds like it is a really, really important message, isn't it?
I hope so.
Yeah, it's. I think this is the type of film that's going to sort of bring people together, and maybe, hopefully, someone that can actually make a difference sees something in that and comes up with some ideas of how to change this, to make things work better for all of us.
Yes.
I hope so. I don't know.
So tell me more about your hopes and your dreams for this movie, then.
Well, it'd be nice to win some more awards. As of a few days ago, we're BIFA qualified.
Okay.
We're going to be screening at Brighton Rocks, which is amazing. And one of my other dreams is to be maybe BAFTA or Oscar qualified. We did apply for a few. We are working with the festival strategist, so we'll see what happens. But, you know, BIFA qualified, tick.
Okay.
I'm very happy about that. So,
And
yeah.
you guys, similar hopes for the film?
Well, as an actor, I have to thank the actress. She phoned me up while I was sunning myself in sunny Cyprus. And you know, as you know now, that a lot of the auditions, they're online now. You got to do it yourself.
You self-tape.
Yeah, self-tape and so on. Like you got to have a whole studio now yourself. And I got the message. I've done a few. She said, "Do it this way or change this, there, and the other." So I changed it, and they liked it. So I said to them, "If you like it, then I'll carry on." You know, you can only go by the eye of the beholder.
Yes.
You know, even if I don't like it, but at the end of the day, I try to put a performance that was realistic and believable, and that's all you can do as an actor. And at the same time, you're only as good as your last performance. You might have a couple of next, who knows? But you try.
Yes.
Well, he's nominated for Best Supporting Actor
Nice.
with the
I've been
Romford Film
nominated.
Festival.
Wonderful.
That's good. I'm not saying I've been nominated as good. I've been nominated. I'm looking at the other nominees, and I said, look, they must be very good.
Yeah, because you're amongst the pool of other people that have put in good work, and so that's.
No, the other actors, they're like up there somewhere.
Yes.
There's Javier Bardem, and you know.
Carlo as
Well,
well.
maybe you know, being nominated is some kind of recognition that you are in the same stratosphere.
I hope so. I've been around. I've been around a long time, doing a lot of production, but I'm not known.
Now you are. Now that you're on this podcast.
Now you're on the podcast.
Rooting for Oscar tonight.
Why not?
Rooting for him.
Yeah.
So, as a director, is it the same hopes for this film that it'll get some recognition, that people will go out
Of
there
course,
and recognise it?
100%. I think, yes, of course, I hope we're going to get into more festival, winning more awards, BAFTA qualifying festival, maybe. I hope that Yasmin can share her message to more and more and more people. And more, especially, she can like represent more and more Turkish people. As a director, what I can say, and it's something that I was saying this morning to him, because at the end of the day, of course, I want like more people watch the film. It's even better for more of us, like for all of us, for me as a director, for her as a writer, producer, and actress, for him as an actor. For me, I am grateful of this experience because it was a challenge. It was a real challenge. Like I even had like the script supervisor who was Turkish, and sometimes asking him, what are they saying? You know, it's like,
Yes.
as an actor, as a director, you need to like focus on the acting if he's saying the right line, and sometimes it was quite difficult. I'm quite grateful that I have met the Turkish community, and I hope like that the Turkish community appreciate the work. And one big hope for the film is that I received a few messages of people saying, oh, I'm not Turkish, I've never had this problem, but I can relate in another way. And we live in a country that is like really multicultural, let's say even Europe today is multicultural. my biggest hope is that more country, more different culture can get in touch and meet themselves, because this will bring more creativity, more bond, and will create some magic. So for some magic, more magic happening.
More of the magic to happen.
Yes, definitely.
That's really nice to hear. That. Yeah, that's good. So Yasmin, I heard that you before we started this, you were saying something about this hope to do some more acting.
Yes.
Is what's the driving force? Is that part of the driving force of doing the writing, so that you could act in something? As an actor myself, I understand that need
Yeah.
to create our own things, because it's quite difficult at times to wait around, isn't it, for that audition opportunity? And you could be waiting for forever if you don't make something happen or create something yourself. So was that part of the purpose behind writing this?
I don't want to sound ungrateful. I think that acting is happening, even though I'm not maybe like the lead in the big things, but I'm still in a few big things. So I'm grateful. But what I have found out a few years back is that sadly, maybe I'm a more talented producer than an actor.
Okay, that may be
And-
where your skill base is. You feel like your real skills.
I don't know. I would like to hope that I am, I'm a good actor. I've given 9-10 years to this. But I would be very confident to say that I'm going to be one of the best producers ever. Like, I just don't
It's somewhere
have...
you found yourself.
I don't have these doubts, this self-conscious talk that I have as an actress.
Interesting.
When I'm producing. When I'm producing, I know that I will get the job done. I know that I'm going to get the funding. I know that my first feature film that I'm in pre-production for is going to be banging. I don't care about like any negative talk. Whereas as an actress, I'm auditioning, I'm getting callbacks, something happens on set. I'm so sensitive, but as a producer, I don't have that. So, now I have decided that they're both my dreams. Acting and producing.
Yeah.
And if I want to give myself a role in any of my films, which I mostly do,
Then you can.
Yeah.
Why not?
Can I say something on that sort of subject? First I went on set to shoot my scenes, right? I walked in and I thought, hold on a minute, this is quite organised. But lots of times you go on like a short film set, and no quiet on the set or nothing like that. You know what I mean? So I walked in and I thought, this looks good. It's organized, And once you get into set like then, and you see this sort of organization, then and the makeup and everybody, they all know what to do, right? Then that gives you this sort of like not the belief, but that says to you, you better get your act in order. You know what I mean? Reach that quality.
Yes.
And then I saw.
Do you think the culture of the set came from Yasmin?
Well, I'm coming to that. Then the young lady here, I saw her, barking orders and organising and so on. And when she said something about producing and so on, she hit the nail on the head. She's a very good organizer. She's a good actress as well.
Yeah.
But she's also a good producer, a good organizer, and she can get things done. She was barking orders there, move this, move that, the other.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want that. Oscar, can you have your face on the glass there? Remember?
Yeah.
I said yes. But I knew straight away, right, that this is good, because on most sets you go and they do short film this, what have I let myself into? But this was really organised.
Yeah.
Honestly, and done the scene and we finished on time.
So in these creative industries, we're often sort of told, be one thing, aren't we? We're often told, oh, you're just an actor, or be just a producer. But what you're kind of saying is you don't have to. You can have skills of being an actor and a producer,
Exactly.
and you can make the two. You can make the two come
wear
together.
different hats.
Yeah.
You can wear different hats.
I think it helps to have two different dreams, because if you're sat at home waiting for a phone call from your agent, or like applying for little jobs on Star Now or Mandy or whatever, like
Yes.
let's not go there.
I
But
don't
no,
know
you need
anything about that.
you need another venue where you can fulfill your creative dreams, and it's helped me with my acting dreams.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, does the producing complement the acting? Does it help you be a better actor in any way?
No,
No.
definitely not.
Do you not think you're learning anything from being on that other side? That when you become an actor, you can go, oh, I understand this in a different way now.
okay, this is really weird, but like, so I was filming for The Crown, Netflix's Crown.
Yes.
And I found myself on set. Literally, I'm like, okay, the third AD went there. Okay, they're going to. Okay, I'm literally calculating. I'm looking at crew. I liked one of the ADs. I took her number. I was literally like, I wasn't an actress. I was like doing kind of research.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm constantly in producer mood. So I don't know if it's like a detriment now because I'm constantly like putting a producer's hat. I need to let go a little bit.
So the acting is complementing the producing then?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know who's complimenting who, but
You're still finding your way.
You know?
You're
yeah.
still finding your way
Yeah.
and discovering. Yes.
Let's not go too much around the circle. What can I say to you is this, on this basis again, there is a very well-known actor, very well-known director, I'm not going to give any names, and I've been on some of his productions, and I'm on there, and all I'm seeing is another lady directing, and all he's going around is walking around looking funny and walking around and not saying much. And I said, hold on a minute, he's a well-known director. I haven't seen him direct yet. It's a lady directing, and he's getting all the damn credit.
Oh.
I'm not going to name names.
Oh God.
You know?
Yeah, we've got to be careful. We've got to be careful.
No,
with that.
I haven't named anything.
Defamation
Yeah.
I
lawsuit
haven't
in your
named
hand.
anybody. I just said she's doing all the directing, and he's just walking around looking important,
Oh God.
that sort of thing.
Yeah, that does happen in the industry sometimes. You do find
Yeah.
that. But so, if you're looking back on this film now, this film is now on the festival circuits. It's going out in there in the world. But as you watch the film and you reflect back to the days when you were filming,
Days.
the days.
We've done this in
One
one day.
You did this in one
14
day.
pages, one day.
Wow. How did that happen?
We died.
You did this in 40, how many hours?
I mean, we stick to the normal hours,
Yes.
honestly, to the range of 11, 12 hours.
No, we don't.
Wow.
Let's
More
say
than
that, how you can say, like, proper legal, back to everything.
No such thing.
No,
Evil
you know,
producer.
It's like, yes, we did this in one day, but we had one location, two locations if we count the exterior, and one thing that I also understood is like, if you have the right location and you are able to manage the location, it's not that difficult. Because the story is great and is simple but effective.
Yeah.
So, and the room, they had to, even the rooms of the hospital room, they had to speak the story. So it wasn't like, it was, and we had like a large crew, lots of friends who came and helped us. But I think like the location, you can film a short film in one day, yes.
Yeah.
You need to cut some of the shots, you need to, that's why I decided to go with the master shots. We had a conversation with the DP or the head of department, just to go with the master shot and then add some other shot. And you can even film feature film in like most production do in 7 days, 10 days.
Possible? What did it come down to make it possible to do it in one day?
Well,
Organization.
organization,
Yeah, well,
part of the organization, because like
Very well
Yasmin was
organized.
Yeah.
But
organized.
They were
also, I
good.
think me and Andrea have this like kind of, you know, what are we gonna do? Sit at home and not do
No,
anything?
exactly.
No, we go out there and we die. Like we're gonna make it. Like
Go
we
out
just
there and make it happen.
we were passionate and we were just
No,
excited.
it works very well because Yasmin organized all the managerial part, all the crew, dealing with all the contracts and everything. And on the other side, I was organizing my shortlist in order that it was fitting. She was dealing with the location owner. She was dealing with the production manager. We had like head of department. We had like all the other crew member. Everyone was like being super effective and on point. And one thing is that everyone was passionate about doing this. So from like normal point of view, you can do a film in one day if everyone is passionate. And from a technical one, you can also do it. You just need to sacrifice a little bit and bobs, but you can do
your
it.
mental health a little bit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Just go crazy.
So what was the biggest challenge of making this movie then? What was the one thing that was really, really difficult?
For me as an actress, to be producer and actress and to be able to have to do it in one day was a little difficult for me. Yeah, I wish I had more time. I wish we were doing maybe 6 pages a day. maybe more takes. But to be honest, I mean,
But that was just that was like kind of a personal thing because
Yeah, it was a personal
you
thing,
were
yeah.
looking at this project from two different angles at the same time.
Yeah, and maybe it was a little bit difficult to having to bark orders at everyone, even though beginning of the film, Andrea, as a director, he said, do not talk to Yasmin, do not bother Yasmin, let her concentrate on her lines. But what happened in the end? Again, I had to go and like
It's also
solve
difficult.
everything.
Can I say this? It's also very difficult. Yasmin as an actress is great. Like you tell her, and like she can get into the role, but it's also very difficult to move Yasmin out of producing. Like, when you don't produce, think about the role. Very difficult. That's
But I see something, and I'm like,
And you feel like you need to deal with it as the
Yeah.
as the producer.
that was a challenge.
yeah, that
Yes.
was a challenge. And moving on to feature films now, I'm thinking about how I can do that, and it's about finding maybe other producers,
bringing more people in to cover the roles.
other producers, or like a co-producer that I fully trust, who's
Yes.
not gonna be like, well, I want to be an actor or I want to be a director. No, like just someone who's gonna produce. Hopefully.
Yes, I've tried it myself. I've tried to self-direct, and I've found it. I've done it once, and I'll never do it again.
Wow.
I've decided, that I am either one or the other on the project. If I'm going to be an actor, someone else is directing. If I'm directing,
Yeah.
everyone else is the actors.
it was-
Because I personally can't look at everything at the same time, and I can't look at myself. That's for sure.
No, it's impossible. I mean, if you're not like, I think the only one who can direct himself at the moment is Clint Eastwood.
Yes,
That's my opinion.
That's a good one. Yes.
No, personally, if I can tell you, challenge regarding challenge, I didn't have any challenge on set apart like not speaking Turkish. If I can say my point of view on this one, it came into post production. But not for no it's not really not for the post not
I'm triggered.
You touched something there, didn't we?
no it's not
Don't use that.
it's not what you think.
Word.
Because like when I directed, like I started working as an editor in the industry. So even today when I direct a feature or short or whatever, like I think already I start thinking how it will be in the editing room. When we had the first second cut of the interpreter, I really liked the idea. But then on an editing session with my editor, we had an idea, why don't we change the format of the film? Because we wanted to go into scope, which is like a different format that is similar to the anamorphic, but it's not anamorphic. And we had to reset, readjust every frame to make it work. And it looked like what it looked like today. So that for me was like the challenge to reinvent a little bit the film in post-production, the way like it's cutted, and the editor also did a great job.
We had the best editor.
Yeah.
Was it worth it? Was it worth that?
I think it was
that
worth
hard work
it.
to make that change?
I think
Because
it
there
was-
can be a lot of work, frame
It
by
was.
frame.
It
changing
was. But like it made me think that even when you choose the aspect ratio defines the film. Now I'm doing an horror in a couple of weeks where I already know the aspect ratio, but it's also like a little bit thanks to the interpreter and to other film I did, because like the aspect ratio defines the film. But then when you go in post and you want to change it, and luckily we had like all the shots they were working, a different aspect ratio gives you a different film. Like
Yeah, completely different experience.
exactly, a different experience.
And that's
for
the beauty of
audience.
film, isn't it? That we can make these adjustments and change the whole feel and cosmetic and the way that it's portrayed. So as an actor, when you're there on doing it all in one day, that alone must have been a challenge. Putting all this work into one day, or was there anything else that stands out as a?
You know what? If you don't want to jump in the oven, then don't get out the damn profession. You know what I mean? You got to do whatever is put in front of you. You got to get out there and do your best, and get it done. I mean, you commit yourself. Once you commit yourself, then whether hell or no, you got to do it. You got to finish it. You know, you can't let people down. Obviously, I mean, She followed me all the way to Cyprus and got a phone call from there. And then I came back here to do the film, like, So, I made the commitments. They made the commitments as well. Got the lines. I've got to get out there and do a performance which is worthy. And I hope it was worthy. And my director and the lead lady says it was worthy. So I'm
It was
happy.
worthy.
If they said it was crap and so on, I won't be here. I'll be hiding somewhere. No. They liked it. But my motto is, right, if you make a commitment, get out and do it to your best of ability. Maybe they don't like it because, everything's in the eye of the beholder. You know what I mean? You may like it, they may not like it, But
We like it also.
I'm happy they liked it.
It
That's
sounds
what
like
I can
everyone's
say.
happy.
I'm
More
happy
than
they liked
like
it.
it.
Can I say something?
Yes,
We
of course.
loved it, his performance,
Okay.
but we are not the only one because today you are nominated
Yeah.
as Best Supporting Actor here at Romford. So we are
Okay.
not the
We're
only
not
one.
biased.
I should get my
It's a fact.
solution order. No, it's this film business. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, I've been working all these days, and so on." All right. Well, if you don't work all them days, go and drive a bus or something like that. You know what I mean? So you made the commitment. You do. I've worked in very different industries, sideline. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing for me there. I have to sort of put my effort in there and do it. Not because I'm doing filming. This job is just a bypass and just paint a little bit, brush. No, you got to do it to your full ability. And if they like it at the end of the day, it's good. If they don't like it, then maybe you're doing something wrong. Ask questions, get answers, do it differently, and then that way maybe they'll like it. So they got faith in me. I've come down there and put my performance in, and the film's come out quite good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Good. So what's the positive thing then that's come from this film for each of you? What's the thing that you're like?
For me, okay. The positive thing come out for me is that I got a collade. They liked it. That's number
Yes.
one. And the second thing is now looking at it. This is the second time I saw the film, isn't it? I saw it at the premiere, and then I saw it again. And each time you look at it, you get little snipes, little slices of it you haven't noticed before. And I'm looking. Oh, did I really do that? Did I really say it that way? I'm looking, and you know what? It opens your eyes. Say, okay, that was quite good. I did do that. And it gives you more insight. It gives you more sort of like get up and go and do it again. Or, as an actor, you know that every time you do a performance, you got to try and you can't emulate the same performance again. You got to try to do the next one to your best of ability to match it. But most times it doesn't come out the same, does it? You can never match it.
No.
But you have to try all the time. You've got to try. So your acting is basically you've got to keep on doing it, and
building
hopefully
upon each
building
time.
on each time. Yeah, and I think this is not the first time I've done a sort of like emotional role. I've done before previously, and it came to me quite easily. You can relate to certain experience in your life to bring into your character, to bring into your emotions, and so on and so on. So it was quite easy for me to do it. And hopefully they can call me again.
We will. We definitely will. I mean, we will definitely. We have to. We will. It's
So
such a great
from
actor.
directing this, and this has had such an emotional connection for you.
Yes. No. First of all, the emotional point of view, like the connection with the Turkish culture that I love. I'm from Sicily, and we are pretty similar. But meeting and knowing another culture is something, and getting in touch, getting artistically in touch with another culture, is something that is worth everything. From a more career point of view, what I can say is that The Interpreter was my last short film. We filmed this last year. Then I had my first feature film, and then I got into another 3 feature films in 1 year. And The Interpreter was the first thing that made me redirect my career. Because I also write, but it takes really long for me to write. And after The Interpreter is where I started thinking about being a director for hire. Like receiving scripts from producers, studios. It was that thing that moved me, because I was like, okay, if I can direct a story that is from someone else and like properly from someone else that I never lived, or I can put what I lived into someone else's story and bring the script to screen. So yeah, that was the positive. It like a little bit redirected my career as a director.
Wonderful. So Yasmin, it all started with you,
Yeah.
didn't it? This whole thing, and so for you, I really do hope there is something really positive that comes from it. This is your creation. You gave birth to this thing, and it's out there in the world now. What do you see as that real positivity that came from it?
First of all, apologies. I think I've spent the whole podcast
Right.
fiddling with my microphone. It kept falling down.
It's gone lower and lower. Is the red light still on?
It's on.
Okay,
I'm
that's
just going to
okay.
hold it like
You
a
hold
microphone
it,
now.
hold it like a microphone.
And let's hope that my other answers were recorded.
Yeah.
To be honest, seeing the success of this film, and we were at a screening this morning, and the man next to me was crying, like proper crying. I've heard from so many people that they shed a few tears, reading the wonderful reviews. It just kind of made me realize that I need to get back into writing and drama. I am working on a script, and I've actually just received a bit of development funding for me to further pursue this script. It's a very, very intense drama, feature film script. I'm in no rush as well, but at the same time, this film made me realize that I do need to put some effort into it. It's hard when, there's life, and I've just was filming abroad for 6 weeks for a TV series. You don't find the time to sit and write, and big up to all the writers out there. But yeah, the positive thing that I got from The Interpreter is that I need to write.
You need to write. Wonderful. Well, this sounds like an amazing film. I look forward to watching it. And
You better.
I definitely will. You've sold it to me. It sounds like a film that's got a really important message, and it sounds like it's connecting with audiences. And yeah, this has been a wonderful conversation, guys. If anyone is out there watching or listening and they want to find out a bit more about your movie, where do they go to? Is it out there online yet, or is it just in the festival circuit?
We've literally just started our festival circuit. One of my previous films is on Omeletta, and I really, really like that platform. So hopefully, I think Interpreter will, fingers crossed. Guys at Omeletta, if you're watching this, I'm coming at you. I'd like to put it out onto Omeletta's YouTube channel.
Okay. And social media following? Is there somewhere we can find you on social media?
Yeah, my personal one is at I'm Yasmine Alice, and my production company is at Bastet Productions.
I am AMC, which, yes.
Wonderful. Can we find you anywhere if we're
You
looking
can
for
find
an
me
actor?
on, I'm on IMDb, I'm on
Yes.
Spotlight, and I'm also on Facebook, Oscar S. Reed.
Okay. Well, I'll add all the links in the comments below on the bottom of this video.
Yeah.
And once again, guys, I really appreciate you sharing your
Thank
movie
you
with
very
us. And if there was anyone watching or listening, we appreciate you for joining us.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Wonderful.
you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.